Hi everyone, HCG Girl Talk here. I am just coming to sit down finally to just share how this whole first round has gone. I'm on P4 right now. It's been 1 week on P4 and I'm really still stable at the same weight as my last injection weight. So when I first ended my round, I was just coming off of Tom. Tom just got in the way with all of that. And that was kind of a really hard finish on that P2. But my last injection weight was I'm trying to think here, it was 234. And with Tom being, involved in everything, I really thought that 234 was my last injection weight. But as I've seen, my body has completely set at 236. So I am calling my last injection weight, my LIW, 234. But my set weight is at 236. So if I go above 236, like if I get to 237, which I have done that a few days, then I know, okay, really need to be careful with what I'm eating and really watch what I'm doing. And usually the next day it goes right back down to 236. Now I did hit 238 one day and did a protein day. And that went right back down to 236. So I think I'm really stabilized at the 236. So that's kind of where I'm at. P4 is going really good. Haven't added, tons of stuff in. They've had, a few things here or there that are a little bit more on the starchier side. I want to say, like any bread that I have is pretty much still the Ezekiel bread. Nothing like outrageously crazy. I did add the quinoa in. I'm going to do a second video that kind of shows just what is in my refrigerator and in the kitchen that I've been doing for P3 and P4. And I'll show you the quinoa and what I put in with that. And that's been great. Quinoa is supposed to be, it's more like your sprouted grain. It's not, like a flour grain, carbs, wheat kind of thing. So it's more like a sprout. So your body processes that really good. So one of the things that, I thought I'd just share, that I've been learning over this round is the importance for one is to take each round really slow. And on each round to make sure you're learning exactly what you need to learn for that round. So if you're in P2, go on YouTube and watch tons of vlogs on P2 people. Read pounds and inches, of course all of it, but then really hone in on your P2 time. On P3, before you start P3, really start watching a lot of vlogs and get, homework done. Get, information on, P3, on those people who have really stabilized and are doing it right. And then, for P4, same thing. Take your time, don't go into P3 and P4 and think, oh, I can't wait to add in, all these things that everybody's talking about. I can have Greek yogurt, I can have cheese, I can have, bacon again, I can have this and I can have that. Well, you will be able to have it, but you need to have it one day at a time. So, same with everything in HCG. It's one day at a time. Don't worry about what P3 is going to look like if you're in P2. Don't worry about P4 when you're in P3. Do P3 right. And the same thing for P4. And for me, P4 is not going back to old habits. This is for me a life change, and it's about learning what I need to do in P4 to stay stabilized and to eat healthier than what I did before I started. Because if I go back, even after I know my body is set and stabilized, if I go back to eating potato chips, then eventually I'm going to get right back to where I was. So, you know, as your mind has been already programmed and changed to eating extremely healthy, and your taste buds have been changed to that, stay with it. Don't just go back. Find an alternative. You know, we've been trying to find, you know, a way to do, you know, pizza, which I'm not being super, you know, tempted and craving, you know, pizza a lot compared to what I thought I would. But find an alternative. You know, I've tried a cauliflower pizza crust. I know Stephanie, Steph Ely one has tried, you know, she has a cauliflower pizza crust out there too, which I want to try her recipe because hers looked really good. The one that I tried, I think I over processed the cauliflower and it was really moist and it wasn't good. And then there's another recipe I'm going to try that's using more almond flour and just some Italian dressing, and I want to try that. And so, you know, start being creative and finding recipes that are healthy alternatives to what you've been eating. You know, HCG Chica has some great ones. I haven't gotten into a lot of her vlogs yet because I'm saving most of hers for when I'm in my round 2. So I have new motivation and new people to watch. So, you know, just find alternatives. Another thing that I've done, like I went to Half Price Books and I got a cookbook that's all about more low carb eating, but not necessarily low carb, but how to start making better carb choices. So this is Good Carb, Better Carb cookbook. And so it has some great recipes in there, like more using turkey, uses a lot more different kinds of grains than you would normally choose, whether it's barley or millet or the quinoa, like turkey meatloaf. I think we've seen a lot of that. Start, you know, getting creative. I know one of the things I started doing, I took the almond meal that a lot of us have been using for our, you know, the Heavy Dobby crackers, and I just, you know, rolled that in the chicken. We rolled my chicken in the almond meal. And had, you know, a crust made with that, and that was really good. And then put a little bit of mustard, special mustard that I had gotten at Trader Joe's, and that was really good. And another thing that I've been doing, so I tried the quinoa this week and I've had no problems with it. Quinoa, as you know, many have been telling me, thank you, especially Miss HCG Girl, that it's not a grain. It's I believe it's a sprout. So it processes in your body differently than a grain. So I haven't seen any gain from that. That's been really good. Probably put this down. And I'll show you that, the one that I've been buying. You can buy it dry, but I've been buying the Trader Joe's, you know, kind in the freezer. I'm the kind of person, I got this weight, you know, weight for a reason. I like to eat things that are already prepared. I don't like to cook a lot. And that's been something that I've been really changing since doing P2, because on P2 you have to cook. You have to prepare all your meals. And so I'm getting more adventurous. I'm getting more into trying that. But again, I think, you know, that's as I'm slowly changing, you know, my habits. Hopefully I'll do that more and more. So hopefully, you know, on my next round, I'll learn more. And I'll have more things that, you know, that I do creatively in the kitchen. So I think I just kind of lost where I'm at, because I know my power is going to be shut off any minute because they're going to be doing, I don't know, some work on the power lines. And so my power is going to go out. So I'm trying to think like, oh my gosh, how much time do I have? So yeah, just take your time. You know, with P3, like I've said, some of my favorites have been just that Greek yogurt, the pepperoni, and then cheese, you know, all of that. Just enjoy it. Enjoy P3. And for P4, just don't go crazy. Don't start adding in a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, stick with the healthy stuff that you've already been doing, and then add in just a few more things. One of the things I really try to make sure to do is if I'm eating more like, I don't want to say a grain or carb because I've been eating like the Ezekiel stuff, or sometimes I'll have like a, fajita or something wrapped in a low carb tortilla or something. But those kind of things I make sure to have earlier in the day. So, my body has more time to burn that off. But eat that more in the earlier part of the day. And then in the evening time, I'm trying to keep my dinner still, lean meats, whether it's tilapia or chicken, with my vegetables. And so I don't put in a lot of the other stuff. So my quinoa I'm usually having in the day. Can you tell I really need a haircut? Really, 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 really need a haircut. I haven't had one for like a year and a half since we were in Hawaii, and I think it was just basically coming home, to Washington. I was like, I don't know where to go anymore. I don't know where to go, and I don't want to go someplace like Hair Masters, but I also can't afford to go someplace that charges, $60, $80. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, anyways, just, P3 and P4, don't worry about it. Don't stress. If you're really looking into what you should be doing, I think you're going to be fine. You'll do good. Ask questions. We're all here to help each other out. And I just think everyone who's made videos and vlogs that has really helped me, I'll put the names of those who, I've been looking at. Again, just enjoy it. Enjoy, not having to be, on phase 2. And if you're on phase 2, just really enjoy getting to P3. And just remember, it's learning. It's just learning on how to do something different and better. That first time when I went on to P3, I didn't know very much. I didn't know what to do. And, I just started eating kind of regular. Started, good the first few weeks, but then I wasn't watching and looking at ingredients that, of the things that I was eating. And you just start, just adding in a few things that you don't think about, and before you know it, you're just eating kind of regular, and really know what you should be doing. And obviously, I don't know, maybe you're not even going to know what you're supposed to be doing for me. So go to the people that are down there and they'll tell you how to do it. But I just want people to know to not be so scared of it, and it'll work. And you will stabilize, and you're doing something for yourself and for your body. And if that's what, you just keep that in mind and you keep trying to learn, you're going to get there. You're going to make it through, and you're going to release that weight, that emotional stuff that you need to release, and you will be a new person. All right. Have a good week, guys. I'm going to go into the kitchen and maybe before my power goes out and just kind of show you what I've really been enjoying.